Last night, the WWF held the Royal Rumble, and we have a new WWF champion. It's Yokozuna. He won the Royal Rumble match, and instead of waiting until WrestleMania for his shot, he challenged Bret Hart there and then, and he beat him through help from Mr. Fuji. But we've got a new WWF champion. Let's head in to Monday Night Raw. And we kick off with some pre-show matches. We've got Bob Holly taking on Joey Maggs. Joey Maggs wasn't happy about losing this one. He was actually furious. So an interesting one. They're both jobbers, but Joey Maggs obviously has that bit more pop. But it's a good thing in a way, because it means hopefully Bob Holly should get some popularity from this, because he got the win. But it was a terrible pre-show match. And yeah, Bob Holly got the win in 9 minutes 25 by pinfall with an Alabama slam. So we get 41 wrestling, 20 crowd, 44 overall. High Energy take on Rick Martel and Skinner. Yeah, an interesting one. Just some mid-card guys, really, that we're throwing together. Well, High Energy are obviously a proper tag team, but Rick Martel and Skinner, I thought they've probably got enough skill about them to hopefully pass on some of that to High Energy, in particular Owen Hart. Decent pre-show match. High Energy got the win in 12 minutes 29. Owen Hart pinned Skinner with a missile drop kick. 57 for the wrestling, 48 for the crowd, and it's a 63 overall. Not too bad, actually. Crush then takes on Terry Taylor in a decent pre-show match. Crush defeated Terry Taylor in 11 minutes 57 by submission with a cranium crush. 57 for the wrestling rating, and it's a 52 crowd and 62 overall. Yeah, again, not too bad really for a pre-show match. Crush getting a 63, Terry Taylor getting a 51. Okay, it is what it is, just a pre-show match there. So then we head into the main show, and Jerry Lawler and Vince McMahon open us up. And they say, tonight we will be seeing a main event featuring The Undertaker, as he will go one-on-one with the bad guy, Razor Ramon. So in typical sort of late 80s, early 90s fashion, Razor Ramon and Bret Hart, their storylines ended and they just move on without any mention of it. And Vince and Jerry also say we'll also see Mr. Perfect in action, and Jack Tunney will address the WWF with a special announcement. All this and more. So obviously Yokozuna was due to face WWF champion at WrestleMania, but he brought that match forward and he now is the champion, so we need a new number one contender. 69 rating for this one. The Angle got the show off to a good start. It's always good to see. Happy with that. Bam Bam Bigelow takes on Jim Duggan in the opening match. I'm pleased with this one. In a good brawl, I had this as a wild brawl. Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Jim Duggan in 10 minutes 27 by pinfall with a diving headbutt. Yeah, 72 wrestling, 59 crowd, and 70 overall. Yeah, I'm actually really pleased with that. I didn't think it'd get much. And Bigelow's, I think he's only recognisable. He might be well known, but Jim Duggan's recognisable. Don't really have plans for him, but yeah, definitely trying to get Bigelow over. After the match, Bam Bam Bigelow grabs a mic and he says, Tatanka, we got unfinished business. I ain't prepared to share the limelight. At the Royal Rumble, we should have given the fans a proper outcome. If you hadn't knocked me and yourself out outside the ring, I would have beaten you 1, 2, 3. Don't think this one's over. So the match at the Royal Rumble was a draw, a double count out. Bam Bam Bigelow isn't happy with that. I assume Tatanka probably wouldn't be either. You know, someone wants to get a win here. That was a 60, by the way, for that previous angle. We then head into a news segment. Sean Mooney introduces promos from Randy Savage, Lex Luger, Bob Holly, the Repo Man, and the Steiner Brothers. Not happy with the rating here, 55. I mean, I know Savage is in there. He probably would have taken it to about 90. Everyone else has probably dragged it down. But let's head into the main promos. We're concentrating here on the Randy Savage and Lex Luger promos. So Randy Savage, oh yeah, the Macho Man was this close to winning the Royal Rumble. Dig it. People want to talk about strength and looks. Well, I've got heart and I've got history. I've been to the top before and I'm ready to climb the mountain again. So if anyone deserves a shot at the WWF title, it's the Macho Man, yeah. And Lex Luger, then when it comes around to his promo, let's get one thing straight. If the Macho Man hadn't been in my way, I would have won that match. It was because of that fluke ending that I'm not the number one contender for the WWF World title. The fact is, no one in the WWF has the physique, the power, or the perfection of Lex Luger. So if the next WWF champion's name isn't Lex Luger, something's gone terribly wrong. Yeah, so just wanted to give those guys promos because they were the last two eliminated from the Rumble. Both went out at the same time. It's not in the sort of Bret Hart, Lex Luger 94 way, but, you know, they were basically sort of eliminated at the same time. And it kind of sets up a storyline between those two as to who should have a shot at the belt at WrestleMania. Big Boss Man takes on the Berserker in a bout that had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Big Boss Man got the win in 5 minutes 54 by pinfall. They didn't click, which didn't help. Disappointed with this one, a 48 overall, which is not good, really. Wrestling got 43, crowd got 52. The Berserker didn't have a gimmick, so I just stuck the Nordic Warrior gimmick on him, and we'll just sort of implement that now. Got a rating of very good, but there's a couple of penalties there. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to give him a gimmick, really, because it's the age of everyone should have a gimmick, and our product actually demands it. So let's move on. Jack Tunney is in the ring with Gene Okerlund. And Gene Okerlund says, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with WWF President Jack Tunney. And sir, I understand you have a very important announcement regarding the future of the World Wrestling Federation. And Jack Tunney says, that's correct, Gene. After many years of service, I've decided that the time has come for me to step down as president of the World Wrestling Federation. It's been an honor to oversee this great organization and the incredible athletes who make it what it is. And Gene Okerlund says, a big announcement indeed. Can you tell us what happens next? And Tunney says, next week, the new president of the WWF will be announced, and their first order of business will be to determine the number one contender for the WWF Championship. So everyone was expecting Jack Tunney to announce something now tonight about what's going to happen with the title, with the number one contendership. But no, he is stepping down. Okerlund says, big changes ahead, ladies and gentlemen. We'll find out next week who will take over the reins of the WWF. And Jack Tunney says, thank you, Gene. It's been a privilege to serve. The idea here, really, Jack Tunney doesn't have great stats, and we are bringing in someone else to take over that role. We don't really use the president much. I mean, he was always used really to explain stuff that didn't make sense. You know, they would sort of go away, oh, that didn't make sense. Well, we'll have Jack Tunney come out and we'll make something up, and it'll all make sense. So we don't use that sort of role much, but I do want to have someone better there when we do, and I may decide to start using that more as a kind of authority figure. It won't be an authority figure in the modern sense, or in the sense that when they sort of first started being used as authority figures, what we're talking late 90s. But yeah, may sort of have him, the new president, you know, there or thereabouts. We'll see. But this got a rating of 57. I wasn't expecting much. This is exactly why I want someone else with a bit more charisma and a bit more microphone skills to take over as president. The Beverly Brothers take on the Steiner Brothers. Just wanted to use the Steiners. Why not take on the Beverlys? Good heat and decent wrestling. The Steiner Brothers got the win here in 10 minutes 20 when Scott Steiner pinned Blake Beverly with a Frankensteiner. And so we get a wrestling rating of 62, crowd 57, 61 overall. Again, nothing spectacular. Scott Steiner got a 71, which is really good. Rick Steiner not far behind with a 67. Yeah, I mean, a mid-card tag team match, it's not going to set the world alight. Gene Okerlund is with Bret Hart in a comfy, darkened studio. So it's an interview, but it's not kind of backstage. It's not in the ring. They're kind of sat down, you know, like it's a studio, two sort of sofa chairs, and they're just sort of talking. Bret Hart is banged and bruised, and he looks in a bad way. He's bandaged up. Did I say banged? I mean bandaged up. Yeah, he looks in a bad way. Black eye, you know, bandage across his chest. Remember at the Royal Rumble after the match, after that impromptu match, Yokozuna just gave him bonsai drop after bonsai drop, and yeah, Bret Hart is obviously in a bad way. So Gene Okerlund says, Bret, as a man of integrity and a fighting, honest, now former world champion, you agreed to face Yokozuna in an impromptu match on Sunday night at the Royal Rumble, but it looks like it's taken a toll. After the vicious assault by Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji, the doctors have made it clear you are not cleared to compete until further notice. Bret Hart says, that's right, Gene. They've told me not to step in the ring until I'm healed up. And believe me, that's not easy to hear. losing the WWF Championship the way I did, and then being attacked after the match. That's something I'll never forget. We don't want Bret Hart to be out for too long, but this gives us an excuse to just take Bret out of the title picture for the time being. I have big plans for Bret. Bret is, going to be the guy, but not yet. Gene Oakland says, Bret, there's a lot of talk about who deserves the next shot at Yokozuna's title. What's your take on the situation? And Bret says, well, Gene, if I can't be the one to go after Yokozuna right now, then I want someone I respect to get that opportunity. Randy Savage. He's been through the fire, just like I have. If anyone's earned a shot, it's the Macho Man. He's got my blessing to go out there and take the fight to Yokozuna. But I know there are others, like Lex Luger, who want the same chance, and that's fine. The WWE is full of hungry contenders. But when I'm cleared, when I'm ready, Yokozuna better believe the Hitman's coming back for revenge. Then I'm looking at winning back that gold. So yeah, we do want Bret to be our guy going forward, but for the initial period of time, I want to bring the new gen up a little bit slower than they did in real life. So we're going to keep some of the old guard around for a little bit and just help get that new gen up the card a bit. I don't want to say quicker, but if we take away the likes of Hogan, Savage, I mean, okay, we've lost Flair, but if we, particularly Hogan and Savage, really, they're so popular. If we take those two out of that picture, then the likes of Owen Hart, it's going to take them longer to get over because we want that pop to be transferring. We want Savage's pop to be transferring to others. We want Hogan's pop to be transferring with others. And another good thing about Savage in particular is I think he's a giving performer. I don't know if he has that attribute on this particular mod. I have to check actually. But basically, even if you lose to Savage, you're going to gain pop. So yeah, at the moment, I'm keeping a little bit of the old guard in. That's not to say that Savage is definitely winning the belt at WrestleMania, because I might throw in a little surprise. But this gets a rating of 73, even though Bret did not do well without a script. But no, that's okay. I'm quite pleased with 73. We've got another news segment, and it features the Nasty Boys and Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty, and Money Incorporated. We're going to concentrate on Shawn Michaels' promo. Shawn Michaels says, you see, Marty Jannetty thought he could crawl back into my spotlight. He thought he could steal back a piece of what I made famous. Well, how'd that work out for you, Marty? The Heartbreak Kid stands tall, the Intercontinental Champion. And you're flat on your back, wondering where it all went wrong. And as for my girl Sherry here, she finally remembered who the real star is. You made the right choice, sweetheart. You always do. Sherry kind of gives a faint nod and looks down. She's clearly sort of conflicted. You know where we're going with this. We do want to take Sherry away from Shawn. Shawn doesn't really notice Sherry's the way she's sort of acting, or he doesn't care, and he smokes at the camera. And then Michaels continues, Marty Jannetty's yesterday's news, and Shawn Michaels, I'm the headline every single day. Get used to it. And he sort of blows a cocky kiss to the camera. As Sherry looks away, her expression heavy with doubt. The Nasty Boys then have a promo, and it's Jerry Sags first. Money Inc. You think you're smart, huh? You think walking out of that ring makes you tough guys. All you did was run away from a real fight. And then Brian Knobbs says, that's right. You might still got those belts, but you didn't beat the Nasty Boys. You didn't win nothing. You just proved you're a couple of gutless geeks hiding behind Jimmy Hart and your fancy suits. So yeah, just wanted to give them a promo as well and keep that storyline going. Unfortunately, both storylines, I say both, we also had, I don't quite know how the Mr. Perfect Doink the Clown storyline advanced, because I had no one here in that story, and I wouldn't have asked to do that. That's a strange one. That's a strange one. But yeah, two of the storylines lost heat. 58 overall. Mr. Perfect takes on Papa Shango in a bout that had great heat and good wrestling. Mr. Perfect defeated Papa Shango in 11 minutes, 11 seconds by pinfall with a perfect plex. During the match, we also had Doink the Clown run in and attack Perfect. So yeah, this one would have advanced that storyline. So Yeah, Doink came down. When I used the word, well, the game used the word attack. He just probably came down, distracted him, and squirted him with his water flower again, just getting on Mr. Perfect's nerves. Didn't affect his performance. Still got the win here. 69 wrestling rating, 62 crowd, 79 overall. I'm pleased with that one. And the storyline gained heat, which is always good news. Yeah, I'm pleased with that one. Papa Shango is one of them guys that I always loved as a kid. Whether he's going to be pushed significantly, I don't know. He's another one of those guys I'm just going to suck it and see. Then we've got Brutus the Barber Beefcake in the ring. I think you all know what's coming. Brutus Beefcake says, well, brother, the Barber is back in the WWF and it feels great. You know, I've been through a lot. Metal plates, screws, pain, but you can't keep a good man down. I'm back and I'm ready to start cutting through the competition one snip at a time. And he sort of does this snip with the scissors. But let me tell you something, man. Next week, things are about to get real interesting. Let's just say the Barber won't be the only man making a return. He smirks knowingly and taps the scissors against his hand. Keep your eyes open, dudes, because something big is about to shake up the WWF. He gives a final snip with his scissors to the camera before walking off with a confident grin. I was tempted to play with you there, and maybe next week have him introduce the new president. No, Hogan's coming back. 69 overall. Our main event, a little bit disappointed with the score for this one. Razor Ramon takes on The Undertaker in a bout that had fantastic heat and decent wrestling. Razor Ramon defeated The Undertaker in 12 minutes, 12 seconds when The Undertaker was counted out after being attacked by Damien Demento. Again, didn't attack him. Damien Demento's come out and he's fixated on Paul Bearer and he's fixated on that urn. He wants it. He wants that urn. It's like he's just fixated on it. And he's sort of chasing Paul Bearer around the ring. And then Paul Bearer sort of just heads off towards the aisle. The Undertaker sees what's going on, comes out of the ring and just follows them both through the curtain, counting The Undertaker out. 60 wrestling rating. A little bit disappointed with that. Crowd rating was 77. The segment overall got a 64. Yeah, that's not great. I don't think this is going to be the best Raw we've held yet. And The Undertaker and Razor didn't click. Another one where guys didn't click. That's really contributed to a poor score here. Let's see what we get overall. 68. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. Lost popularity in 15 regions. I mean, it's going to be America, maybe a couple of other areas here, maybe the British Isles as well. We'll see in a second, but yeah, that's a shame. Financial report, we made nearly 150,000. Popularity recap. Oh, okay, Canada. So yeah, we lost in the UK. In the US and in Canada. That's a shame. So emails, we've got Brian Lee has joined FMW. Ludwig Borg has joined War. Slick contract is ending. I'm not sure I need to keep Slick. Is he managing anybody at the moment? I don't think I'm ruining anything by showing you the roster. Let's include everybody. Let's go to Slick. Oh, he manages Kamala. I might keep him around. Maybe we could look at doing something different with him. He's got charisma. He's got microphone skills. Yeah, I'll renew his contract. It was an exclusive deal. I mean, I'm not prepared to give him anything long though. Let's give him a year. If someone else comes in for him, It's not essential that we keep hold of him. Go back to our emails. What else did we have? Time to heal. Rick Steiner is feeling the effects of a grueling recent schedule. And Monday Night Raw figures. Okay, well, that's fine. I guess that's it. Quick look at our storylines. So we are still achieving 3 storylines rated hot or above. That's very hot. That's very hot. That's hot. That's extremely hot. That's very hot. And that's very hot. So the lowest one is hot, and it's the Lex Luger Savage. Unfortunately, that we kicked that off in the news segment, which had a really bad rating. You live and learn, but I also think it was a realistic way of doing it. I think that's kind of the sort of thing they would have done back in those days, back in the early 90s. Okay, I mean that'll pick up because we'll have sort of a few Savage solo promos, and we'll just do a little bit more, I think. So that should pick up as long as it stays above hot. I'm kind of happy with that one. So yeah, I think that's the end of the episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please give a like and subscribe if you have, and drop me some comments below. Really happy with the engagement on this series so far. Actually, you guys have been great. You guys have been talking to me, engaging with me, coming up with lots of ideas. I do record quite a few videos ahead, so I don't always necessarily, if you gave me an idea for the next show, I've probably already recorded it. Also, I do roughly know where my big plans are for the next 6 months. I know where my world title is going for the next year, probably actually 18 months. So anything, that kind of ilk, I do already have plans. It doesn't mean to say I can't change my mind. Of course I can. So yeah, just really pleased with you guys. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all again soon for the next episode. Goodbye.